Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. I am back. I have taken several days off because I've been very ill. I caught a tooth infection around here. Then it went all around my mouth. And then I got what I believe was blood poisoning. I believe my blood got infected by the infection. And I was really badly ill. So I couldn't make any videos for days. But I'm back now, and we have this. We've got one clip to watch. This is taken yesterday. It is Joe Biden canoodling with the press, the very people who love him. They obviously did everything they could to help him get him where he is. Now, even some of his most adoring fans, that is the mainstream media, are starting to get a little bit irked because they want to ask him questions, but he never takes any. They refuse to allow him to take any questions. That's his handlers. He's the only president I've ever heard of who actually has handlers. He needs to be cajoled from place to place, needs to be reminded when to go to the toilet, and so on and so on. He's like the globalist's pet. He is their wet dream. So this is a clip of him yesterday in which he gets asked for questions, and as soon as he does, his handlers shut it straight down. And this has been happening a number of times, and his fawning fans in the mainstream media are even starting to question it. So let's get into this clip now, but if you haven't yet, please like the video, share this video around, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That really helps this channel grow. We're only a small channel. We are demonetized and shadow banned, so that could really help me out. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's check this out.
I said we're the oldest hardware store in DC. I also say we're the greenest hardware store in America. We have 2 urban farms actually in our building. We have Mary, who's in the garage there, and then we have Cultivate the City, which is an awesome rooftop garden. They exist on our rooftop. But you're not going to be able to see it from here, but if they want to give a wave, I see them. Yeah. And then we also have solar. Jump. We need you. And then if I could just.
Let's go, you guys. Come on, friends. We're gonna move out. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, friends. Let's go. Come on, let's go. This is the order, sir. Let's go, you guys. Come on. Come on, let's go. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
So let's go back and watch again because there's several points I want to make. Okay, so let's start and then I'll make some points that are really valuable that I want to make because you probably couldn't have understood the context of the clip there.
One quick point I want to make is that I said we're the oldest hardware store in DC. I also say we're the greenest.
So he says the guy who owns the small store says he's the oldest hardware store in DC. Of course, you probably don't need me to tell you that this is Joe Biden's stomping ground, the Democrats' stomping ground, the establishment. They could only go and visit a small store in DC. They live in DC, they eat DC, they sleep DC, they drink DC. Because they know outside of Washington DC, nobody likes Joe Biden. Sure, you could turn up anywhere in a big city and you would have some fawning people, very small number of people, but most people, the average person, just looks at him as an extremely weak leader, somebody who got more votes than anyone in history, yet didn't even leave the basement. Somehow he must have ran the best campaign in American history. So effective that he got 81 million votes, yet he couldn't fill a car park full of supporters and can't speak 2 sentences without making a grammatical or speech mistake.
Hardware store in America. We have 2 urban farms actually in our building. We have Mary, who's in the garage there, and then we have Cultivate the City, which is an awesome rooftop garden. They exist on our rooftop. But you're not going to be able to see it from here. But if they want to give a wave, I see them. Yeah. And then we also have solar. Jump. We need you.
So now the press are about to ask their questions, and then the handlers swoop in. And keep an eye on Joe Biden, because listen for the handlers and the mainstream media, but keep your eye on Joe Biden, because he looks bewildered. He's clearly lost. You saw a minute ago that he looked quite lost, and he just looks in the direction of wherever anyone points. If someone was next to Joe Biden and they pointed in that direction, he would just look over there, because that's what's left of his frayed mental processes. Just point equals look.
And then if I could just...
We're gonna move out. Let's go.
So she's saying, come on, press, we're going to move out. Someone asked a question about the border. This is a guy who's not in command of anything. You notice with Trump, he called the bloody shots, right? Trump was the man. He was the top guy. Biden exudes passivity, timidity, naivety. He is clearly not in command of anything. You don't need... Listen, some things can be communicated without words, right? Some messages, and the most powerful messages, are often sent without saying a word. Body language never lies. The eyes never lie. This guy isn't in command of anything. He's a puppy. Like, take a look. You can see what I mean. He doesn't stop anyone. He doesn't say, no, I'll take some questions. He's not in command. His handlers are dictating everything.
Let's go, you guys. Come on, let's go.
Look at how bewildered he is. We'll go back again. He's given a sideways look down this direction, like in front of him, but look at how bewildered this man is. He doesn't... He's, in my opinion, a dictator. Okay, he doesn't want to take questions from anyone, from peons, right? Him and his handlers will dictate terms. You don't ask questions. You just sit there and let them do the work for you.
Come on, let's go.
Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
One quick point I want to make is that...
So that was the clip, and I just want to ask a question. How can this man be the leader of the free world? How? How can a country elect a man so timid and weak? And not only that, he got more than anybody in history. 81 million votes. Really? A man who... I mean, look, even at where I freeze framed it here. He looks lost. His mind's wandering. He doesn't really know what's going on. And his handlers know it, and they're using it to their advantage. And as for the mainstream media, I wonder if they're having buyer's remorse. I doubt they are, but I do think that maybe they would like to ask some questions. They do have jobs to do. You notice how it's okay for him to answer questions like what flavour ice cream you're eating, what's your favourite sports team, what's the weather like outside. You notice how Biden, he can answer those questions. But when it comes to answers, like one of the reporters asked about the crisis at the border, which there is right now, is unprecedented because of the message that has been sent out by the Biden administration. This is what I'm saying about body language and about how messages can be sent without speaking. The message that is oozing out of the Biden administration is that they're weak, they hate America, all are welcome, No ifs, ands or buts. You can just come on in. To hell with laws and regulations and rules and all that. That's the message that's been sent out. And now the human smugglers, the people traffickers, the coyotes, they are making a fortune. And there is a crisis at the border now. But because of the wokeism, because of the far left ideologies that are so prevalent in the Democrat Party, particularly the shot callers, that the Democrats have painted themselves into a corner. Really, they have. But at the end of the day, it's not them who suffer for it. It's you, the people that they see as the peons. They don't want you to question them. They just want you to accept what they give you when they give you it. And right now, you're being spoon-fed harm and stress and strife by a man who has clearly the onset of dementia. I've seen dementia before. I have a family member who had it, passed away. They died years ago. But I can see it. There's that vacant glare on his face. There's just nothing behind the eyes. There's no spark. The spark's gone. Watch older footage of Joe Biden. You will see that he's got the spark then, like 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50. He's been in politics in DC that long. And how many of you can say, do you know what, Joe Biden made my life better? I would stake my reputation on not a single one. I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think of Joe Biden's state. Let me know what you think of the mainstream media's state as well, I suppose you could say. Let me know what you think of the fact that he doesn't take any questions, and let me know what you think about the border. I would love to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching. It's good to be back. I do feel a bit better. I feel quite a lot better actually, to be fair. Thank you very much. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, just share the video around, all that stuff. It only takes a few moments and it really does help this small channel. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.